along, y'all. I would like to get to know if I could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. I could be wrong, but I feel like something could be going on.
Yes! Where is it? These note choices. I know that over the course of her singing these songs live, she's developed certain nuances and certain changes, note changes in her ad-libs that are just like, oh, I kind of like that. So this right there is, this is everything.
The more, there ain't no other for me. It's only you. Wanna be, got to be down.
Do you see this? Do you see these goosebumps? I can't. I need a moment.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Oh my God.
Sitting up in my
I'm literally getting emotional.
all about you, but I'm just a mess with a thing for you.
Wait. Seriously? I'm seriously getting emotional because something about the whole feeling of this thing. Like, I don't know, I don't want to be such a dork, but literally I am. I'm getting like emotional, like it's bringing, you know, a little bit of mistiness is coming down. Miss Brandy, thank you for coming back and for gracing us with your voice. You know, side note, I'm not trying to turn it around and make it about myself, but we may not know each other. This might be the first time that you know who I am, or like, who's this girl, Melody Joy? It's funny because the reaction that I'm having towards Brandy might be the same reaction that people have towards me. Why? Because I've been in the music industry since I was 15 years old. And I did actually very, very, very well back in the day. A lot of stuff happened in the middle between then and now that one day I might go into a story time and tell all of that. But it was a whole lot of drama from record companies. All the stories that you've heard from like TLC, the lovely Miss JoJo, who was like the youngest artist, like 12 or 13 or whatever, and she ran into issues too. Those are basically my story as well. And as I'm sitting here listening to Brandy basically singing all of her older songs, the songs that have brought me so much joy, that have pictures, you know, in my head of the memories during those times, I kind of put myself in somebody else's shoes that is like, yo, what has happened to Melody Joy? I want to hear those songs from back in the day. They were Latin, Spanish songs back in the day, you know, and they have maybe the same feelings. First of all, why am I getting emotional? I don't know. First of all, I think I want to apologize. It's been a struggle to get back in the live venture and in front of people's faces and being able to sing these songs that have brought you so much joy, because these particular songs and that particular era for me is a mixture of emotions. And I've never really spoken about that, but they're a mixture of emotions because they were the highest point in my life when I was able to release some music at that age when I was 15, and it was great, but it was also the most tormenting time in my life where I started developing I think we're gonna go there. I started developing some issues with anxiety because of everything that was happening to me at the time with the label, and them blackballing me. And how I chose to deal with that throughout those years is, there's a part of me, and I hate to say this, but I'm talking directly to my fans from like when I was back in the day, 15. There was a part of me that really despised, and sometimes despises, and I might still need some healing from this, despises that time, and despises that album, and despises those songs, and despises singing it in Spanish and just everything. I know this sounds crazy, but you know, now that I'm listening to Brandy and I'm over here having a moment and I'm literally getting emotional about it, listening to her, because her voice makes a difference in my life. And then I'm sitting here thinking, Do people have that same reaction with me? Does my voice make a difference in somebody's life? And I really want to get to that point where, it's not about me, it's not about my feelings, it's not about, what traumatic emotions that brings up for me. There was a lot of artists during that time that know exactly what happened, know exactly what happened to me. And they have gone to do tremendous things. And a part of me has seriously felt like that should be me. What I'm seeing on the stage and all these different things, that should be me. I felt like this record company took it away from me. I felt like they took it away from me. So the only way that I could deal with it was I completely shut it out. I completely blocked it out. I blocked out my first album, Virus del Milenio. I blocked it out. And in English, that means like the Millennium Virus. This was right in 1999, right before everything started coming out with this whole Y2K situation. And I blocked it out for so many years because it was traumatic for me. But I want to apologize for all of the viewers out there. I really do need to make peace. And in some ways, I have made peace with that era of my life, but in other ways, it hurts. It still hurts because I see other artists, and you can fill in the blank who these other artists are. I see them in places and in platforms and on stages and on interviews and on TV programs that I have envisioned for myself. For a few years, I just I might have kind of just like, I don't know, guys. I might have like just given up on that a little bit. Um this is like turned into a whole nother, this is turned into a therapy session. Like I'm in therapy right now. um but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be in the flow of this thing and just open up, but I don't want to say too much. I think I've said enough already. But it was the best and the worst time of my life. I know that my music and my artistry has paved the way for a lot of different artists out here. And I congratulate them for their success because obviously, everybody has a calling on their life, and and it's important to celebrate other people, other women and men who God has been elevating, and that's awesome. That really is awesome. I'll be really honest with you. I'm speaking directly to my fans right now. I'll be really honest with you. A little bit about growing up. I didn't listen to a lot of Christian music. I'm gonna be 100% real. This is the reasons why. To me, when I was a little adolescent kid, what I was listening to in Christian music was a little whack. It was just like the old school type stuff until Out of Eden came along. And Out of Eden changed my whole entire life because Out of Eden was like really, really cool. But I will tell you something in connection with what I just said. I have to wonder and ask God, was it your intention for me to start off doing Latin Christian stuff? But is it now your intention to move away from that and completely, totally rebrand myself? I don't know, but I have to think outside of the box because my parents never taught me to be scared of, afraid of, like for religious reasons, of the secular world, secular artists, secular music. That secular music was played in my house, and it was played loud and clear for the purposes of instruction, for the purposes of learning, of vocal training. Why do you think so many out there, that have heard my first album, some of the other stuff and the other songs that I've released, have said, oh my God, this girl sounds like, she's like Mariah Carey, but like a Christian version? I do not know of other artists in that particular genre that do that. And the reason is because I was heavily, heavily influenced by a lot of secular vocalists who their platform was in the secular arena, but they were raised in church and they grew up in church, but their main platform was in the secular arena. So it's like these voices like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Brandy. Her father, wasn't he like a pastor? And like gospel music has infiltrated the R&B and secular movement so much. Beyonce. Say what you want to say about all these different artists coming from just a religious experience. Say what you want to say. I believe that God elevates people to different levels. And so I have to ask God, was it your intention to start me off in Latin Christian music? And now is it your intention to completely change or expand my territory, like Jabez in the Bible, to expand my territory into the secular arena? Is that what you're trying to do? And I would ask you, seriously, my fans, the people that have known me for many years, I would ask you, how do you feel about that? Because there's been a lot of things in my life that I have not posted because they have been secular related. And I know that especially in the Latin Christian world, it is very bad to kind of associate yourself with that. You're considered like royalty when you have just, zone in into the whole Christian market and stuff, which is great. But once again, I've never been the cookie cutter type inside the four walls of church. That has never been me. I've always felt like I've been called to something greater, something bigger, something stepping outside the lines while still keeping my beliefs intact, while still keeping my salvation. Like, that's never going to change. I want to know how you would react as a fan. What if I went totally secular? Would that What would that do to you? Would you discount everything that I've done up until that point? Like, honestly, truly. And I mean, and if some people do, I don't know what to say. It's like I can't please everybody. I know that life sucks. When you're a people pleaser, that life sucks. Now the big question is, if God does open up doors for me to go secular, will you stick around? And that's the big question. I guess I guess we'll have to see, because I'm doing everything that I can carnally, with my flesh, with my thinking, with my mind, with everything that I can do personally, until and when God intervenes on where I feel he's calling me and the projects that he wants me to do next. Like, what if something else blows up that's not Christian for me? Like, I don't know. I would really hope that you wouldn't be a hater. But if you are, I don't have time for haters. No, I just don't, because either you're for me or you're not. It's just, unfortunately, religious beliefs, or religion itself, and not the relationship and the grace of Jesus Christ, really does divide so much of the faith-based community, with all of our different denominations and all of our different customs and all of our different traditions and all of our different convictions. Oh, drink or not to drink, wear pants or wear skirts, no makeup or fully beat, looking crazy out in these streets defines people as being more holy. But when you are fashionable from head to toe, it's like, ooh, this girl looks too much like somebody else that I like. It's just so many things that divide us. I'm like, this is a whole lot that I'm releasing. I think I'm getting therapy right now. I really am. It is a whole lot of pressure when an artist is made to feel like they have to stay right in this corner. And I get it for business purposes, because I understand the mentality of the record label companies. I get it. But what happens is, if you do that too much, you stifle the art in the artist. I have to think that God has something bigger for me, better for me. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, as if to say everything that I've done and achieved previously is not good enough. It's not what I mean. but there's got to be more because I still want more. I still want more. I'm really slow to this. Guys, I have been working way too much. I should be already listening to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Spotify. Do you guys like streaming better, or do you guys like purchasing the actual physical album? I really need to know this because I love physical albums. Why? Because I am a student. I'm a studier of the albums and all the physical albums of every artist that I've ever bought an album from, which is a majority of Miss Mariah Carey. The reason is because I'm weird. I smell the booklet. I'm freaking weird. I know it. I love when they provide the lyrics of the songs. And that's how I created my own booklet on my album. It's like done like it is back in the day. It tells you all the producers, all the people involved, all the thank yous and all the edits and all the credits and all that stuff. And I love reading that because I want to know who you work with. I want to know who gave you that sound, like who arranged your background vocals. Those things are so interesting to me. And I feel like sometimes that gets lost in translation when it's just streaming. This, to me, was an amazing performance. This brought back so many memories back in the day for me. I'm actually really glad that I went over this. And I had a therapy session in the middle of it, so forgive me. I hope that you will forgive me on that. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Like, comment, do all those different things. Check it out. Everything is on the description below. I really appreciate you. I gotta go. It is a beautiful, awesome day, and we're gonna do some more reactions. So thank you for tuning in. You know exactly what to do. Spread love. And until next time, I will see you later. Ciao.